Francis broke important and significant new ground in the church's relationship with LGBT people. I think most of them would say that. Most of them would also, many of them would say, well, he could have gone further. One of the most famous lines early on in the pontificate was the question he said in reply to a journalist on the plane back from Rio de Janeiro, who asked not about homosexuality, but about a particular Vatican official who had some gay scandal attached to them early on in their lives. And Francis said, who am I to judge? And conservatives kind of went into uproar about this, saying, he's the Pope, of course he should judge, and homosexuality is church doctrine. He wasn't questioning church doctrine or homosexuality. He was simply saying what Jesus said, which is that we have no right to judge people. But it was a very, very important message that he gave, also because he used the word gay. I think the first time the Pope has ever used the word gay. And that's really been his approach to gay people. There's a critique of Francis that comes from more conservative sectors who think that he has undermined the church's commitment to the defense of doctrine faced with a skeptical liberal society. I think what they fail to understand is that Francis isn't interested in waging cultural battles. He doesn't believe that the church should be a cultural warrior. And so I think a lot of the misunderstandings of him come from seeing him through this very, particularly I think in the case of the United States, through the lens of the culture wars. And it just doesn't apply to him. He's neither kind of left nor right in that sense. I think from the left, he's often been criticized for sort of not going far enough. He talks a good talk, but ultimately doesn't deliver. But I think the misconception there is to believe that he is in some way a liberal or a progressive who was setting out from the beginning to change church doctrine. That was never Francis, as I argued from the beginning.